Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirisho here, and now, before I do begin, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had quite a lot happening. In the last 36 hours, Deku has had over 4 attempts on his life. That meant quite a bit. Deku was paranoid. That paranoia let him survive the first attempt, and that did not help his mentality. Afterwards, Deku spent a day in a safe house, then another day. He called, checked in to see what was happening, and talked to Sir Night-Eye. The man wanted to move Deku to a new location. Deku decided that if he's gonna go somewhere, he might as well go home. And Sir Night-Eye, he was worried about Deku doing this. First and foremost, his mental state is highly unstable. That, in itself, is bad. Deku did not care. He pointed out every advantage this had, and with Muscular at his side along with his home defense system, he's practically untouchable. And Night-Eye had to give Deku that. People have already tried coming after him once. Actually, no, twice. They didn't even make it to his house the first time. He was in his damn car the first time. Now, Night-Eye did reluctantly let Deku go. And Deku, when he got home, he talked to Cynthia, told her the situation and to treat them kindly. They were not involved with what her son, Ray, did to her and his family. And while Cynthia was reluctant, she did understand. Deku mentioned he had some business to take care of, but he went to go see his mother's space. He went to her room and found it still dirty. It was left untouched. The smell of old perfume still lingered in the air. And that? It was something to Deku. He knew he had to buy more staff. This place is too huge and big for Cynthia to handle alone. Plus, he doesn't like that she was left here by herself. Presumably, she was property. That's what the family does think of slaves. Without Deku to give her an order, she had to stay here. And that he did not like. He went to his office, plugged in Ryoko's phone, and called Nezu, talking to the man about what he does need, as well as inquiring about physical enhancements. Nezu, he did decline Deku, telling him that right now his mental state is far too unstable. They would not allow him to be enhanced in their facilities. He could be a danger to not only himself, but them during the process. Now, Deku was annoyed, but he did understand. Afterwards, he called Ryoko and inquired about Kami. The woman, she was quite alarmed that Deku even called. Then she was quite alarmed at him knowing she was alive, her setting a blood pact, and Deku wanting to talk to her because the two were physically involved. That certainly meant quite a bit. She mentioned that she'll reach out to Kami, possibly do what she can and just give her Deku's number. Deku, he didn't hear from Kami for a week. Then he went to UA, got his new arm put on, and went on vacation. Right now, he doesn't want anything to do with the family. He wants to go into hiding, physically recover, and hopefully try and rebuild his power, along with deal with the tatters of his mind he does have left. The last year of Deku's entire life has been a roller coaster of clusterfucks. That is the easiest way to put it. His mother died. His girlfriend was a spy. He was put in a coma. He was enslaved. He fought and was in a war. He went on a rampage and killed the leader along with multiple lieutenants of a fucking family. I mean, if he had a checklist, everything would be checked for shit that went wrong this year. Now, Deku has spent the last couple months in hiding, and being out on Gran Torino's farm, it was a little aggravating, a little odd. There were good days and there were bad. At night, you could look out the window and you couldn't see anything. That was a good thing. And there were nights where you could look out the window and not see anything. And that was a bad thing. Deku, he got paranoid. He had to pick up hobbies, deal with certain things. Gran Torino left him the property and told him how to handle everything. And that's what Deku has been doing for the last 6 months and 1 week. Right now, Deku, he's expecting visitors. Him climbing out of bed and going to stretch. As he does begin to do some workouts. He does get to roll out of bed and start doing push-ups. Him doing so for about 20. And then switching to his right hand, bringing his left behind his back and going to start doing push-ups that way. And then switching over to his left hand. Right now, getting ready and beginning the same workout. He does do the push-ups he does need to. Then he does go ahead and jump on into a handstand, putting his hands closer together and beginning to do push-ups that way. And he does then go to roll outside, getting to his feet and moving. And the day, it does seem nice. He'll handle the chores really quickly with his powers. Then he'll be done with them. It'll be a nice little place that he can spend time. He can get back to working out. And that is the main thing. His abilities with One for All went down to about half. He can maintain 35%, but with the atrophy in his muscles, that was more challenging. Whenever he did finally get rid of all that stiffness, all that firmness, that concrete in his body, he did feel himself begin to steadily and slowly move back up. He was able to use 45. But that did come with some strain. And he did cool his jets there. Right now, he's working his way back up. And that is what his days do consist of. Him going to harvest some eggs and check for fresh ones. Making sure the chickens aren't doing anything stupid. He does then go out to check some of the fields Gran Torino has advised him about. And all of them do look good. He does do a quick flyover of the land, finding it to be in the same condition it was yesterday. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing wrong. And that, it does mean a bit. The orchards are fine. The crops are fine. And now, he does head to the barn, where he does go to jump up to one of the rafters and use Black Whip through his legs. Him going to swing his body down and hanging there from his legs. Hearing the One for All users talk about quite a bit, beginning to do sit-ups. Them going to babble off in his ear. And talking about a little bit of things here and there. Deku does ask him some questions about the past. They do answer. He's learned quite a lot about some of the interesting stories All Might actually did have. Some of the stuff he did way before he was born, and some of the stuff that Nana did. He even does hear about Bonzo's rise to power as the boss of the Yagi family. But that was way before everyone else's time. He even does ask the fourth future a bit more about his power. The man, he was a little intrigued being out here. He did isolate himself in the forest a long, long time ago. I think that that was the best way to get rid of his paranoia for his power. But it didn't exactly work out too well. Eventually, he had to face All for One. And he lost. Deku, he does continue his workouts. Before he does go for a run around the property, not using One for All or any other powers. It feels great. He does try to train his lungs. He's been trying to get better with breathing, trying to get better at that. His body has recovered, and his mind, it's come a long way. Miriko's talked to him about mental conditioning, mental training. She's mentioned that they can start from the ground up if they do need to. That it will be a little challenging, but it shouldn't be too bad. And he does find that to be the most interesting. The best thing to do, but he also does have a lot of other things going on in his own mind. Miriko is a rather odd subject. He's got a bet with Bakugo and Kirishima about something, but he also does try to wonder about who might come out today. Is it going to be Toru? Is it going to be Bakugo? Or is it going to be Kirishima? Mirio does come by, but Miriko, she can sometimes stop by unannounced. She's done it twice already, even once on an actual official delivery. And then again, he thinks that might have just been an excuse to stay a little bit longer. Is Nanae having her check in on him? Or is she just bored? She does like to see where his combat power is at. And she was happy to find that Deku got stronger. He got better again. And while it did push him quite a bit using his power back then, it's gotten easier. It's gotten less straining. Though today, that on his mind. And whenever Deku is done with his workout, he does go to fly off to the hot springs real quick. Him making his way there relatively fast, making sure not to cause a boom through the air. And he does take a quick soak. Right now, him washing off and rinsing off before he does come back home. He doesn't bother to rinse off his hair. It does get cleaned off from his flight back to the farm. And when he does go to arrive, they already are unloading supplies on the front porch. And he does come out to see Kirishima, the man watching Deku go to land with a bag on his shoulder. Him dumping it and making his way over to the truck, grabbing some boxes and asking about it. So it was him this week. Yep. Your creative letters there in the cabinet. I got it. The cabin. Right. Yeah. If you do want to write back to anyone else, I can give you some time. You'll do that anyways. Besides, you'll stay for lunch. Ooh, what you got going? Oh, you know. Maybe something simple? You did get my order, right? Yeah, I got your order. Though, some of it was a little odd to try and give. I'm sure it works out. Oh, I'm sure completely. Though, I mean, really? It's a good place. Besides, I think I'm getting better at it. Sure, sure. Whatever you say. This on Kirishima's mind. He does stick around. Eventually, he does leave around 2 o'clock, and Deku does wave goodbye to the only human contact he'll have for another week. And he does this one smile. It does mean a bit. Right now, he does have a lot going through his own head, making his way out to the field and setting up his supplies. Before he does go to throw down the blanket he has used before, setting down a lot of other stuff, along with a small little camping stove, and going to turn it on, setting down a kettle with some tea inside, turning it on to low heat as he does go to read some of his letters. He got one from Kendo and Bakugo. The two, they're happy to hear about how he's been getting better. And Bakugo is happy to announce that he has enough money stowed away for right now to do something interesting. He is talking about getting some reinforcement surgery, talking about getting his body strengthened to handle the recoil of his powers, and even seeing about possibly getting an enhancement to his quirk. That will make him a whole hell of a lot stronger. And Deku does go to hear about that. Going to set the letter aside since it doesn't really contain much other than an update. He does to pull out Toru's and go to read hers. Hers talking about it. Right now, not much has really been going on. She is a little worried about him though. They drew straws and she might not be able to come out this month. Maybe next month. But she wants to know if he's doing well. She was happy to get one of the photos of his paintings. But is it actually that good? She's curious to see if he has actually improved. And maybe he can draw her a portrait if she does go out there. It seems nice. Though, if he does need help with something to call, and she does want to check out that hot springs, but she doesn't know the proper person to get into contact to be allowed entry. You gotta know someone who's been there before. Those people are a little stingy, and being a member of the Yagi family does help, but it does feel like she's imposing. But the fees they have to pay are so worth it. Those things are nice. And Deku, he does go to smile. Him flipping to another letter. And another. And another. Mirio wrote him one. Tenko, he has wrote him one. And Mirako, she wrote him one. Hers is short and sweet. Talking about it. His sweet ass better get into gear and get back into proper shape. She'll pop by soon and try to fight him. If he's not up to snuff when she gets there, then there might be a real big problem. Deku, he does this won't laugh. Right now, setting the letters aside, after going through them and turning to the painting that he does still want to finish. Staring out from the top of the hill and trying to think about what to do. He didn't realize he was good at drawing. His hands can do a lot. Working with them has been interesting and has meant quite a bit. He was able to draw a portrait of his mother. He's tried again and again, and it has been better each time. It's funny. He remembers he used to draw when he was a kid. As he got older, he grew out of the habit. He memorized things. He remembered them. He knew how to draw them in his mind, visualize them. And it's kind of funny. He actually remembers that back in middle school, he drew a map to get home. He knew how people would come after him. They'd be simple, they'd take that hallway, they take that hallway. If he needed to, he can go through that window and, well, there's the outside. And that's a whole other thing. People tried to hunt him down for what money he had back then. Thinking about it now, he can't really remember some of those corridors too well. He can't remember some of those streets. I mean, he was in that town months ago. Months ago. Was that 7 or 8 months ago? Even then, it looked different then. The same place, but on fire. The same place, but ripped in half. That's another problem. Though, he does find this old habit of his soothing. Almost addicting. It feels strange. I mean, should he try fishing again? He managed to catch some pretty good fish by the river. But no, the ocean isn't too far away. I mean, it's about, what, 2 hours in that direction? That's not too far away with a cooler and a bag full of ice. He can go out into town, see about things there. That does sound fun. And Deku, he does try to finish this painting. It does take him 3 days and a few hours. But eventually, he does get done. He does get to set it back down inside the house. And on the 4th day, he does work out. He does do a little bit more. Push himself a little farther, push himself a little harder. And he does get to sleep under that tree. Thinking about it. A nap in the afternoon. And just trying to think about how things will go. No messages, no phone calls, no nothing. All he's got is himself and plans, ideas, things to do, different ways to handle different things. You certainly look comfortable. And looking up. And Mirako, she is leaning over him. Right now, squatting down by his head. Deku looking up to see her. You look like you're tired. Kind of am. Worked out a little hard. Checked everything out, and I've been up since the crack of dawn. What are you doing here? Came to check on you? Boss's orders, you understand? Huh. He doesn't want to come out himself? He's a little busy. Besides, do you really think that I would understand this? Probably not. Though, what are you up to? Not much. Checking to see if some idiot's gonna pay attention or not. Little distracted? Not really. Though I'm assuming you want to check and see how I'm doing physically. That obvious. You're jumping on the front of your toes. It's pretty obvious. Him sitting up and going to turn, cracking his neck and beginning to stretch, talking about how they can do this. Right now, him jumping to his feet and telling her, are they going to first blood or what? He's fairly certain that that would be good. Though, does she want a serious fight? Serious. How is that even a question? She is trying to catch up to him now. She doesn't like that. So, they'll go until one of them can't get back up. They'll do this the easy way or the hard way. Whichever way gets funner. And she does go to bring up her hands. And Deku does go to stare at her in her battlesuit. Him going to express. They can do that then. Turning in, going to walk down the hill. Throwing his hand over his shoulder and telling her, come on, this place good for napping, not battle. Serious? Yep. There's a dirt field over there. Dirt? Well, it's patchy, but Torino said he's not doing much with the ground. Letting it heal or something for crop rotation? I don't really know. He'll typically ask me questions and, well, the townspeople ask about it a bit, but I'm pretending to be his grandson, you know? Yeah. That fits. You can't just be Izuku Midoriya. The man who lived. Could I ever be myself? Besides, they don't really got television out there, so they just know my name. Really? A bit. Besides, just pretend to be a little different, you know? There's even, well, makeup for disguises in there. And a wig. That works too. You wear a wig? Not really. Him turning around, finding some more of the heavier packed dirt, and telling her, right, this place does seem good. His bare feet telling him the location is dry and solid. And she does it bring up her fist, talking about it. They can make a bit of a wager. How does that sound? What kind of wager? Well, that does depend. I was hoping to stick around a little bit. Maybe talk a bit more with you. Ask some questions, that type of stuff. Not I wants a whole laundry list of stuff. Her throwing her hand out and waving it through the air, holding it up. He just wants to go over a lot. Other than that, she'll give a report back to him and mostly be given some free time. Though he could just solve it all with a damn phone call. How do you think I'm doing? Hmm? You don't look to be doing too bad. You fell asleep right out in the open. I wasn't asleep for that long. You were asleep for a good 10, 20 minutes. Not that bad at all, honestly. Looked peaceful. Peaceful? You watched me sleep for 20 minutes? Eh, I did check the house. You did? Yep, everything's unlocked. That's a pretty good sign. Fair enough. Alright then. Deku bring up his fist. And Mirako, she does go to get into a stance. Deku turning one for all on at 30%. He's fairly certain that this is a good amount to handle her. Outspeed her, outpower her? Do you want me just to use one quirk or how many? Holding back doesn't seem very fair. Neither is a one-on-one against someone stronger than you. So you're stronger now. Last I checked, your ass was still healing. Last I checked, you had one ability. Unless you're holding something in reserve. Nope. Mostly all natural over here. Mostly. So what do you got then? Her giving Deku a grin. And expressing. That's up to her to have. A lady should have her own secrets. Oh, so now you're a lady. Fuck you. Her bum rushing him. And she does her throw a Luna arc. I know her slicing her foot outwards out towards Deku. And Deku, he does go to quickly dodge. Right now him throwing his hand out and towards Mirako. Her going to throw her right foot down and hop up into the air. And Deku, he does go to quickly give chase. Right now he does attempt to calibrate himself to Mirako. Check and see how strong she is. And when she does that throw out her leg, Deku, he does going to meet her with his own. At about 20% of one for all. And when the two, they do go to hold that clash, she does attempt to try and throw out her other leg. Hers a powerful sweep towards Deku's head. And Deku, he did go to lean backwards with his hip and throw his other leg out. His right leg smashed to the ground as he was able to then jump backwards off of his right foot, moving away and backwards into a flip. Whenever he did go to land, she already came rushing at him, throwing out a fist which Deku did go to meet with his hands. Right now him going to grab her by her fist with the front, and going to spin, throwing out his left hand, going to immediately try and push her downwards to the ground after he grabbed her elbow. And that was where Mirako, she did go falling forwards, but going for a leg sweep, pulling Deku's leg out from underneath him. And when that did going to happen, Deku, he felt all gravity leave his immediate underneath. And she did going to turn, throwing out her fist towards Deku as Deku does going to dodge it. Right now him evading the strike and throwing his fist out, smashing her in the gut as she does lean forwards, headbutting Deku in the nose. And that does mean quite a bit. Right now her sliding backwards as Deku does going to stagger back on 2 different steps. And he does then go to bring up his fist, staring at Mirako, who does take the gut shot with a little bit more decorum, and hopping on her feet, throwing out jabs and talking about it, lunging forward quickly. Danger Sense does gotta go off, him evading a strike that would have taken his head off if he did actually take it. And she does go to watch Deku go underneath, him stepping in and going to smash her up in the uppercut. her going to leap backwards but still be struck with the force of the blow, leaning into it a bit more and going to throw out her legs. I know her wrapping them around Deku's left arm, and she does go to throw her hands down, grabbing Deku by his fist. Rhino her going to try and slide down Deku's arm and towards his shoulder. If she can hook his shoulder in, she can get him to give up. Turning Deku's arm as Deku, he does gonna fall to the ground and go to bring his arm up. Mirako, she does try to hold Deku down, but Deku does go to using 25% slam her down into the ground. And she is forced to let go, and for Deku to pull her up and go to slam her down again. This time, her moving away as Deku does use an actual air jab. Mirako going to throw her kick outwards and trying to evade the strike. And Deku, he does go to disappear. Mirako threw out a kick. Deku was gone, and she was trying to find out where he was, throwing a kick outwards and going to try and strike Deku behind her. Though Deku, he was half a footstep away. Her leg flying right past his head as he does barely miss it, throwing up his other hand and grabbing her by her leg, before he does a throw at his right leg and go to smash her in the back of the calf, and have it come out from underneath her, throwing her up into the air and crashing her down hard, before he does go to fall down and grab Mirako, pinning her as he does go to grab her hand when she does throw a fist, turning it and going to feel it somewhat pop. Her roaring out in a bit of pain, throwing out her other fist as Deku does catch it again, and tell her that really won't work. Her going to grin, and Deku, he does try to think about why she's doing that, before she has to throw her legs upwards, and right now her calves do go to grab Deku by the side of his head, and she does go to roll back and kick Deku up. Deku, he does get bucked off of Mirako. Right on him crashing to the ground and going to turn. Danger Sense going off as she does a lunge at him and smash on his back. Right on her trying to put him into a chokehold as they do go rolling into the dirt. And Deku, he does go to bring his hand up, prying it off of her. Right now, prying her off of him, as she does talk about it, holding with her legs wrapped around him in a bit of a chokehold, talking about it. That's three, she wins. And Deku does go to reluctantly tap, talking about it. Fine, she wins. Right now, her letting go as Deku does get to his feet, wiping some of the dust off of him, along with the newly kicked up dirt. Her jumping up, asking, so, was that about the same range as last time? Or was he taking her a little bit more seriously? That was about 25, maybe 20%. Not bad. Alright then. We'll give it 30 minutes, then spar again. Though you are still holding back. I'm trying to have fun here. Besides, you've only gotten stronger. Got it if I want to keep up with you. Maybe. Though, it's getting fun. Him turning to look out. How long do you expect to stay? Maybe not too long. See where the day takes me. Though, if you're serious about wanting to spar, then I can show you a few little tricks. But, how's that other thing that Tenko's mentioned to you? Meditation? It's a little weird. Not sure I really like it. Not for me, you know? I get it, trust me. There's other ways to build mental fortitude, but sitting still isn't the best. Huh, the best. Yeah, don't know if that's ever going to be the best. Though, if you got any better ideas, I'm willing to hear them. Hmm, maybe, maybe. Her making her way towards the house, wanting to get some water and repeat this. And the two, they do spar on and off again. Their matches, they do last a little longer. Deku does try to match Miriko's tempo, and she does try to kick things up or even play things a little sneakier from time to time. It is a bit fun, and there is where they do eventually need to get cleaned up. Deku, he does think about heading to the hot springs, but Mirako does mention that that is quite a bit of ways away, and she does ultimately decide to go for the nearby river. Right now, the river that does flow through the land, and she does start bolting, making her way towards it. And Deku, he does decide to follow. Both of them having a jump in and getting a bit more cleaned up before they do get to head back to the house. And before Deku even realized it, it became pretty late in the day. Him gonna fix some food and talking to Mirako about a few different things. TV's in the living room. If she does want to sit down and watch something, she can do that. But he'll be a little busy. Her doing so. And she does go to put on something entertaining to her. Deku coming out eventually with a plate talking about it. Sitting down. Her jumping up and getting her own food. Watching TV a bit quietly. And Deku, he does enjoy some of these little moments. Kirishima has been getting stronger. A lot of people have. It feels a little odd. He's the benchmark a lot of people are putting themselves against, putting themselves as. But when he does think about his freakish growth, it does begin to make a bit more sense. Right now, he's not as strong as he once was, but he's beginning to get there. The stiffness and the soreness in his muscles does tell him that. And when he is done eating, he does go to walk back into the kitchen. Him coming out with a bottle of brandy. And he does get to ask her if she wants to join him. For what? Going to walk outside and getting a small fire built in a fire pit. And going to just sit there. He does get to pour himself a glass. Though Mirako, she does grab the bottle and start drinking from it. The two going a bit back and forth about a few different things. Right now, she is curious to hear about a few different things. He's been, what? Lazing about, fishing, painting, doing puzzles, stuff like that out here. And, what? Tending a small farm? That sounds pretty unfair. Everyone else is all hard at work and rough edges. But they have been a little bit more free with some stuff that they've been doing. Really? Oh, yeah. Her leaning back in her chair, kicking up her feet, and sitting halfway to the side, talking about it, taking a swig from the bottle. It's a whole little thing. I mean, Not a lot of people really are doing much. I still heard from Night Eye that they're dealing with people to try and rebuild the cities, stuff like that. I mean, there's the whole thing about Kyoto and what to do to the ships, but that'll take some more time. I mean, we're able to use those ports now, and making sure those things don't end up as badlands has been pretty good. We were able to salvage a lot of stuff in the harbor, but that's a whole other issue. Cleanup isn't exactly my forte. I got that part. I can dig it though. Cleanup isn't really mine. Yep. Though I do have to say, gotta appreciate fans of your work, you know? Fans of my work. I don't exactly think I have fans, you know? I think you do. I can think of one blood obsessed junkie who they look at you like you're some superhero flying through the sky. A fucking superhero? Me? Okay, you must be drunk. Drunk or wise? I'd say drunk. I mean, shit. You haven't even had enough yet, have you? Maybe. But drunk people can make stupid decisions, you know? They can take actions that normal people they can let stand that they don't think too much about. I mean, her taking a larger swig, and Deku does pick up on that. Right, flirty. Though this is a little more forward than usual. Come on, you don't think so? Hmm? I think you're not too funny. Not funny. Not funny, he says. Her holding the bottle out to Deku. Him going to take a sip from his drink, finding the glass completely empty. Him setting it aside and grabbing the bottle from her. Her pulling it back as Deku, he does go to stare at her. And she does a stand up and walk over, sitting down directly on his lap. And she does go to hold the bottle up to his lips, talking about it. She does know what she's doing. Besides, she's a big girl. He's a big guy. I mean, a lot of things happen. Deku taking a swig of the bottle and pulling it away from his mouth, as she does a turn and look at him. And Deku does stare at her, waiting to see if she'll break eye contact. And she does a glare at him. Her eyes are challenging. Interesting? No, that's a challenge. A different kind of challenge, maybe? He's not sure. Then again, not a bad challenge. Listen, her bring a hand up to his lips and stopping him from talking. Shh. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. The moment. Her turning and leaning a bit more in to Deku, talking about it. The fact is, life is full of shit that happens. He'll meet plenty of people, and she'll meet plenty of people, looking up into the sky. A lot of things happen in life. It sucks. You meet good people, you meet bad people, you meet people you think you click with, you meet people you don't think you do. And some you just flat out can't click with at all. You feel me? Hmm? Kinda. Yep. Then you meet the people that are surprising. They're in your life once and then they're gone. They can stick around, but they pop up every now and again. You know? Maybe. I sort of understand. I'm sure you do. So, her turning and giving Deku a kiss. As Deku, he does just stare up at her, and she does give Deku a cheeky little grin and pass him back the bottle. Right now, him taking it and setting it off to the side. And he does go to fully sit up with Rumi still sitting on his lap. Bring his hands up and going to wrap them around her waist. And she does a stare back at him, wanting to see what he'll do. A challenge. Is that what this is? Is this a joke? A prank? But no. It doesn't seem like that, does it? Well, right. Life is short. She's not wrong. But this. It certainly sounds like an interesting idea. An interesting place to be? Maybe. This place is his own little garden. A place to grow, a place to be alone. But now, being alone doesn't feel nice. He's enjoyed the day, the time he has spent with people. And right now, someone wants to spend more time with him. They want to see if they click with him. That sounds nice. And Deku, he does lean back in, seeing what she'll do, what she'll play, how she'll act. But she's serious. And that's where the two do meet. And they do begin to somewhat laugh. They do go to snort. They do even go to chuckle. But they do go to find under those stars a companion for the night. A companion who will be there. And there is the next morning. Deku does lie in bed. And he does think about it. Right now, Mirako rolling over and going to clutch to his side. As she does still somewhat snore and go to sleep silently. And he does it a turn, wondering if he should open the blinds. The sun will come up soon. Getting back to routine does sound like a good idea. But maybe not. Sleep in. Yeah, that does sound nice now, doesn't it? Sleeping in. That certainly does sound like the best idea. Right now, Rumi has a bit of an iron grip on him. He's still tired, and it's a change of routine, a change of pace. Things are relaxed. He does need more of that. Go with the flow. That seems nice. He'll try to do that. It's been a long time since things have been this quiet. But this is good quiet, not the bad quiet. It's companionable, not elegant, but simple in a way that's comforting, not irritating, not aggravating, not still, not some. God, it's hard to describe. He's felt that quiet a lot, but he doesn't know if he's ever really tried thinking about what it feels like. Almost like still water or rushing water. Like a river? No, the river isn't that loud. I mean, it makes noise, but if you follow it upstream, it can get louder at some points. But no, it's quiet too, but that does still feel like a pretty good analogy. Why is he trying to think of analogies? Him getting cozier and turning to his companion. Right now, wrapping them in an embrace, and they do somewhat try to move in a little closer. Analogies can wait. Right now, sleep. That's all that's important. That sounds like the best goal for right now. He's not sure what he'll be doing later. Then again, when does that delivery truck arrive? Huh, right. He still needs to make a damn list for the week. No, sleep. Sleep is a priority. Sleep is good right now. Him falling back into its embrace. And right now, Deku, he does go to enjoy it. He does find comfort in sleep. For the first time in a long time. It's been getting better, but this is the best it's ever been. In a while, at the least. And right now, there currently is someone trying to figure a few different things out. Izuku Midoriya is a very dangerous person. They might have something on him. They might have a way to deal with him. Even if that was the case, though, it's a very dangerous way. They can shake the stage. That young man, he shook the stage 6 months ago. And even now, people are still feeling the repercussion. He murdered Endeavor. He took the man down with a level of brutality that was not seen in decades. He was a sheer force of will, a tempest, a storm. In the truest way, it was undeniable. If you want to take control of Japan, you might have to kill him. Then again, if the young man wanted control, why did he stop? It's a very big question to ask. They all have plans, ideas. Everyone is scheming something. And right now, they need to figure out there is a bit more. Plan it better, figure it out. Find out how to handle everything. They need to calculate these odds. Figure out if they'd lose, or if they might succeed. That's the main goal. They have to find something in order to win. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.